Hello fellow caravanners, Bert here from Bert and Trev's Adventures. Trev is still sitting in the house. She's having a nice lazy morning. Why not? And I'm just working. I'm doing a bit of things. Sorry, I got a bit distracted then. I'm doing a couple of things on the caravan. And I thought I'll share what I'm doing with you. Might help some of you. Might make it a bit easier. So we're going to spin you around and show you what I'm doing, okay? So last week, I installed these front wireless chargers for the phones. This is a Bailey Pegasus Grand SE Messina 2022 model, and I also installed this LED lighting. I'm removing the LED lighting and I'm just putting a different style in, but everything that I prepped and done last week I'll be reusing. So I'm going to show you a few things I done last week, okay? So these wireless chargers, there's actually a piece of wood, see it there, just here. So I couldn't drop the charger in here because we got a big grey pocket that goes in there for when this is in bed mode in the night, which I've took out now because I'm doing a cable over here in this corner to go behind. And so I knew the chargers, and my wife asked, that's Trev of Bert and Trev's Adventures, she asked if you know, we could put two chargers in, two wireless chargers. I was thinking of just one in the middle, which would suffice, I suppose. But no, that's what she wanted, so that's what she gets. That's no problem with me. So, put two of them in. Now then, this was not easy, guys. I will tell you now, this was not easy. These pillars, if you like, got cables and stuff running behind them. You can put your finger underneath on the bottom, and you can ease them out. In fact, I've put that one down a bit much because I know when I did it last week, I was able to get my fingers right under there. So that'll slide up anyway inside there if I want to make more of a gap. They pull out. So they're like clipped in on bolts. They look like they're sealed in. It's very good, whatever it is they use here, but they're not. It's not actually silicone. It's a seal that comes away. I don't know whether you can just see that moving a bit. Look, so you can see the gap. But they come away lovely and they pull off. You have to pull them off to get this out. Up inside, if you can see them, there's these round things with screws. You have to remove all them, so then that's free of that. Believe it or not, guys, I won't put the phone in just in case I drop it, but there are some up on the back here, which I did all by feel, okay? There's a unit up in here, which I unscrewed, and then you've got those, there's one there. There's one over here, and I know there was one this side. So you have to get the screws up in, which connects this to that. And I think the way the Caravan is built, maybe it's from the front towards the back. I'm not sure. But I think all this might go in as one unit. And of course, I only wanted to take the top off. And then I had to do exactly the same over that side. Remove all the cushions, pull the pocket out, pull all the screws out to get this off. These are covers. I won't really pull them off now, but they just clip off. They just pull off. You can ease them. Oh, here we are. I got one playing. Yep, there he is. So they come off. And again, whoop, let's keep the camera one way. Should be able to see that there's a screw up in there. And again, you've got to pull all those screws off. This has got a nice little retaining leg that goes in there. And then that pushes back on. So those three had to come off. These on the top, they had to come off. Undo those screws, pull them out because that's attached to the front. These three had to come out, get them off, so this was all free and come out. And the same in the corner, I had to pull the corner pillar out. Now these are pop-up chargers. Okay, so they got a USB and a USB-C, the USB-A and a USB-C lock. So there is quite some depth to these. They're about this deep, okay? Trying to get this back on was a nightmare. If I was going to do it again, I would tend to try and put that a little bit more towards the back, because what I ended up having to do, and there was no other way I could do it, to get this back on, was this piece of wood here. As you can see the thickness of it there. If you imagine now just behind you, I had to notch a bit of the wood out to get these to go in, which was relatively easy, but then I'm an electrician. I've got a lot of power tools and I used a multi-tool to notch that out to get them in. That was the most difficult job. There's a short lead on the back of this, and then the mains power then just got like an adapter connection, very much looks like this, that goes onto the back of that lead there. That's pushed in firm. And then what I've done then is that lead is just here, comes through just here, and then I've installed a socket here, and I'm going to discuss that with you in a second as to how I've done that. So that is how we did this, how we removed this, and now I'll move on to the next part of the video. So the next thing I had to do was sort out power, as in they got a 230 plug on them, so we needed a socket that would power these two chargers in the front here, and the LED lights, they also need power, 230 volt. I'll show you now how I did this. Again, yes, I am an electrician, but anybody with a little bit of electrical knowledge, sockets are not really not hard. And I'll show you what we did. So again, I'll turn you around and talk you through it. Right then, guys, here's the main fuse box. All the fuses are up. So we got the main one on the right hand side with the button here. That's what we call the RCD. And then there's one for the sockets, one for the boiler, and one for the charger. And then all the lighting is obviously all 12 volt. So I always say to people, if in doubt, if you have got power plugged into your Caravan, either isolate your RCD or just, you know, knock the sockets one down, press this test button, I'll knock them all off. I didn't do that. I've got, this is actually on my drive at the moment. My house is just here with the drive. So I simply just, my mains in is on the other side just by here. So I unplugged that, and I knew I had no 240 in the Caravan. And obviously I isolated it the other end. And then this is what I've done. I've opened up the fuse box cover to try and get a gist of how this Caravan has been wired. Let me turn you around a sec. So when I opened up the fuse box, there was 3 lots of cables into the double pole MCB for the sockets. It looks like it's all been done in 1.5mm flex, which I suppose is okay because it's only rated to 16 amp, so that'll carry that amount of current. However, me being old school, I've wired the new sockets in my 2.5 grey twin and earth cable, and there's nothing wrong with that neither. When I seen there was 3 cables into the breaker, because I was going to take a supply straight off the fuse inside the fuse box, the MCB, the miniature circuit breaker, I thought that's really got enough in it and it doesn't need another one. So I'm guessing, without pulling all the Caravan apart, that they've done like one part with one feed, another part off another feed, and another part, and etc, etc. So I'll show you what I've done, right guys, to get the power to a socket to power my chargers. Off the fuse box, down there's a few wires. Look, those white ones are the power. And there was one going directly to this, which is my outside 240 volt. Power for any power I need in my awning. So what I've done, right outside, I've unscrewed all that, exposed it. It's got a little clip-on cover, and then there's screws behind that, very much like these. That's internal. These got covers on them. You watch them, I won't be able to get this one off. No, I haven't had this one off before, so it's going to be a bit tricky. The one behind the TV I've had off, and the one over on the wall there I've had off. But you just gotta tease them a bit, and they come off fine. And then there's little screws behind them of this plate this here. Obviously with that outside, I just had the one plate around, and that had screws in it. So we undid the screws, and then the black socket, the back of the socket you see there, pushed outside. It's got little knockouts in the side. You really can't see it much on here, but I took this top one out and I fed my 2.5 cable in there and connected it in there. Then I run that to a socket here, and I've also run another cable from that socket to the other side over there, and there's another socket under there, and that's how I got my power, guys. So then, how did I get that socket in there? Now then, let me show you what I've done, okay? Because I've literally just placed this back, but I haven't fixed nothing. So there was 3 L brackets on here, just like they're this side, look. 3 L brackets screwed into the sides, which are down there at the moment. I think they're down there. What did I do with them? They're here somewhere anyway. I'll find them in 5. That's fine. But what I've basically done is undo those L brackets. So I pull those out. Then I've released this off the side. I know where the L brackets are. They're on the piece of wood, man. So this piece of wood was over here like this, look. Okay, so this piece of wood was over here. These L brackets were around attached there. So obviously I've taken the screws out on the sides. Then I've undone these screws. You've got to pull this bit of wood off, because then underneath this piece of wood are 3 longer screws. There's one here, one there, one there, that goes down into the wood that's attached to the side, and you have to release those 3 screws. Once you do that, and remember I'm doing this one-handed, right, because I'm holding the phone with my other hand, but all this then will come out. My slack cable is there, and then I can turn all this around, and then I mounted the socket on the back there. And what I've done is pull the socket away so it's not on the edge, so I can get an adapter in that sticks out that way. And obviously my other adapter I got is here, and it comes out this way, and that'll be fine because that'll come into here. And then obviously just fixing it back is just a reverse process of pulling your slack back. Oh yeah, let me show you this while I've got it exposed. So I've put a hole through here, look, drilled a hole there, and this hole is for my LED lighting, which I'll discuss with you in a sec. That goes in there behind in here, and then comes out behind where the pillar is, and then I can attach that to the front. That's for the LED lighting. Out of sight, out of mind. So yeah, this basically goes in here. Should just go back in there like this. That all goes down. I just got to refix that, and then this grey cable that comes from that power down there, I got some nice little clips that's just going to fix that up behind there, so that's not in my way when I'm in the locker. Make sure that everything's tied up out of the way. And that is basically how I got my power in. I did a similar thing over that side underneath, only if I remember, I think I was able to mount the socket against this underneath, because it was a little bit of a different setup over that side. But I just try and put things in so they're not in my way. Obviously my outside door is there, that's up high. Everything that I store in there is not going to interfere with nothing. I'm going to tie all my cables up, make sure that's all out of the way, and that's how I got the power in to feed these bad boys. And I unplugged the socket this morning, the plug I mean. So here's the plug for the charger, and if I plug that back in underneath here, I do a lot of things by feel. That's in there, switch on, and they are now live. I can't show you obviously because I'm using my phone, but they are now live. And that one there is fed off over that side, and I fed the grey cable underneath, the twin and earth, linked it onto this, and it's linked onto that, and that goes back to the board. So that's all on its own little circuit, and that's how we did that. So then, hopefully from what I've just gone through with the wireless chargers, I'm hoping that'll make a bit of sense and it might help some of you. By all means, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me on social media, Bert and Trev's Adventures. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook. And I've got a YouTube channel. Please reach out if you want to know something, and I will do my very best to help you out, guys.